Fear the man that has nothing to lose. Unfortunately, I have a lot to lose. I hate that I value my life because the average person does not. You notice this especially when driving. Think about it. If you value your life, you should always be a defensive driver. There's no questions about that. Cars are extremely prone to accidents and they could either end your life or make it extremely unlivable. Unfortunately, people who don't value their life drive very recklessly. And you can't do anything about that because you value your life. Essentially, you cannot go tit for tat with people. I'm from New York. I'm walking on the street. Unfortunately, right now, New York has a lot of mentally unstable people. I don't care what caused the problem, I'm just letting you know that that's the situation right now. If I see someone that I do not feel safe around, I'll simply cross to the other side of the street, then go on about my day. However, let's say I don't do that one time out of my life. This person comes up to me, harasses me, or spits on me, or does something like that. What am I supposed to do? I literally cannot do anything about it because I value my life. You really can't do anything to retaliate. Let's say someone starts a fight with me. Granted, I am not the first pick for someone you want in a fight. But let's say magically that I win the fight. What do I have to gain? I'm gonna face assault charges, and that's not gonna be very pretty. Now let's think about what happens if I lose the fight. The other person's gonna get off scot-free because of mental issues. It's really not a fair fight if you think about it. Some people talk about the lottery and they say how it's like the tax on stupid people. The life tax I'm dealing with right now is the tax on the mentally sane, the tax on the people who care, and the tax on the people who are successful. I wish there was a different way to say this because there's just no way to say that gracefully. People who value their life do stuff like get insurance. They also avoid reckless activities. And no, I'm not talking about skydiving. Skydiving's actually very, very safe, statistically at least. What about cliff diving or cliff jumping? Does it look very fun? Yes, it does. Are you likely to survive afterwards? You likely will. However, is it worth the risk? Let me tell you some statistics. There's a study on this. 0.4 out of 1,000 jumps leads to death. That does not count things like injuries, which is what I'm more afraid of. Imagine you're jumping off a cliff. It might be a little wet because you're normally going into water. Other people have been in water who jumped the same spot. Can you slip? I've slipped before in my life. Not worth the risk. Imagine getting paralyzed because you just wanted to jump off a cliff into the water for fun. Let's compare that to skydiving because I talked about that before. Okay, let's look at the statistics. So I'm seeing here skydiving has 0.28 fatalities per 100,000 jumps. It is immensely safer than cliff diving. So if you want to do something fun, maybe compare two different activities. Not to mention the skydiving experience lasts much longer than a single jump. Most people, when they do cliff jumping, they do it multiple times. And each time is one jump according to that study. Let's say the average cliff diver does it 5 times. Well, okay, 5 times 0.4, that's 2 out of 1,000 sessions of cliff diving. You're looking at a 0.2% death rate. Again, we're not including injuries in this. So next activity I want to talk about is biking. Okay, biking's very fun. I want to do it in the city. It's very convenient. It'll save me a ton of money. I won't have to Uber or take the train. It's good for my health. Why wouldn't I do it? Well, biking is probably one of the most dangerous things to do in New York City because a lot of drivers do not respect the bike lane and you can't really do anything about it. What are you going to do? Call the cops and report like, oh, this license plate didn't do it. How are you supposed to prove that they don't respect bike lanes? That's really all there is to it. But why am I being denied such a easy, fun activity that's good for me? That's also good for the environment. And it's just like there's no downside to biking if New York City was actually safe to bike in. But unfortunately, I don't really think it is. I feel really bad for all the bikers who do deliveries because they're going really fast. And as a pedestrian, personally, I do not like them, but they're just trying to do their job, so we'll let them be. But you're also biking in the same lane as those people who are trying to get to work. It's like driving against taxi cabs, except now you're on a bike without any safety. So am I gonna be a biker in New York City despite listing out all the benefits for it? I don't think so, because again, I value my life, don't want to get injured, don't want to die. So there's a lot of stuff that you shouldn't do if you value your life. People can abuse you, they can take advantage of you, and there's not much to do about that because it's not worth your time and there's too much to lose. I actually kind of miss the days where I had nothing, was feeling really sad in life, and just literally had nothing to do. You could do anything and it really wouldn't matter at that time, at least in your head, right? But once you're in this position, you're just thinking about how do I not go down? Because I don't want to be back in my bad state either. But let's say someone messes with you. Let's say you get ripped off by someone. You can't dedicate your life to ripping them back off as well, or getting back at them for revenge, because it's just not worth it. You should just enjoy the advantages that you've built, and again, it's just like a mini tax on the well-off or the mentally sane. You just can't go around it. I just wish there was a way to like reduce this tax, or like, are there any deductibles I can do like with money? Man, if you guys have any ideas on that, please let me know. I know it's silly of me to complain about this because it's like a first world of a first world problem. It's like double layered, but I feel like it just had to be said because it is like an issue that I deal with every day, and it really bothers me for some reason because I'm very tit for tat in a lot of things. Does anyone else actually feel the same way as me? Let me know if you guys value your life down in the comments below, and also if you don't, and like also tell me why. Like, is it because you're doing really well in life? Are you doing really badly? Did something bad happen recently but it was good before, or the opposite, you were down bad and then now you're up good? I actually kind of want to know. If you're young or just curious and you want to be like up good or something like that, go watch this video where I tell you every college that's actually worth their price.